Hey, it's prime. We're 3 balls in, then we 3 balls out. We all up on your screens like it's prime time's route. Mighty gets a scoring. Oh, and PJ start to scout. Your Ron's really trash. What do you think he's damn fouls? TB out the show, so buckle down, sit back. And Jay we trust, cause he's the leader of the pack. It's prime, Jupiter.
This is TBI 3 balls in alongside Logan and Davo. We are at a remote location. We are actually in the Bias Shell Bosch. It is Bosch's crib who's hosting us this week. He put it in the chat, and man, he doesn't just say it, he delivers. We are here now in Bosch's home. We had Jubal this week, right?
We did.
Week 4?
I think there was. I said people should sign up, but
Did you show up?
I did not.
But you didn't show up, but you did something even better, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't watch any games.
But you also ran a marathon?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that. A social media giant over here.
Yeah, social media giant. Yeah, with my 7 followers. No, the New York City Marathon. It was a good day. It was a little warmer than we would have wanted, but great football weather. But yeah, it was a great day, a lot of fun. Anyone who has never run a marathon, I highly recommend it. I think anyone can. It's just a matter of putting in the miles. But yeah, it's a good day. We had fun.
Do we need to talk about the chafing?
No, there's no chafing. Body Glide is a miracle. Body Glide, no joke. They're not a sponsor yet, but they will be.
All right, Davo, something big happened yesterday. Your quarterback you like when you want to be drafted by him, but when you don't get drafted by him, you trash him. Talk about your own day yesterday.
No, congrats to Yaron. Not only did he come away with 1 victory yesterday, but he came away with 2. He beat Gronk in game 1. I think Gronk actually came back and they had the most Gronk game possible. He threw for 4 touchdowns and threw for 4 interceptions. Yaron comes out with a victory. Yaron, a 5-4 victory. He didn't get screwed by extra points this time. And then in game 2, Yaron played like the Yaron of last year, threw 5 touchdowns, 3 of them to Gronk, 0 interceptions, and they kind of dominated and pulled away. And it's good to see Yaron back and good to see that Jubal will have some life and actually has quarterbacks that can play.
Which actually brings us nicely to our next segment of what's wrong with Prey.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing, though. Last week, Prey and Dax had this back and forth, the game you played in, right? It's a 6-6 tie. As, we talked about it last week, some controversy at the end, and maybe it wasn't controversy, but whatever it is, right? And then this week, you have Prey versus Dax again, right? Kind of like the premier matchup, Prey versus Dax, 2 young quarterbacks who are just phenomenal, right? They're taking the league by storm. And here he prays up 1-0, and for the second week in a row, Jubal gets kicked off the field. They got to reroute, except this time, instead of traveling to another field, they just go a little bit down to the grass, right? And then it was all downhill for Prey at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, what is wrong with Prey?
It's funny because Prime was in both games, and us moving to grass is not a big surprise when it comes to Prime, right?
Right, definitely. Dave, what's wrong with Prey?
Maybe there was something in the air. Maybe it was a little cloudy. You said
moving the grass getting a little cloudy.
Listen, I think it was a close game.
You think or
I don't know. I don't know because I don't know what happened. Apparently there was some soccer going on, and Storm had a pick six in soccer. Explain that to me. I still don't know. But they moved the grass, and it was just all downhill from there.
Maybe Logan shows up next week.
I'm hoping. I think this the 12th or whatever it is. I think it was my first week of eligibility. Let's see what happens.
Oh, you're in next week?
I'm in. All right. PJs.
We might have a true touchdown.
I think I'm gonna pull Logan. I'm gonna sit it out and not watch any games. There you go. All right. So what
else is good for you this season?
Hey, listen, you can't beat them, gotta join them, right? So here's the thing. We are so privileged and so lucky to welcome in. I want to say it feels like the first time, but it's not the first time. It is none other than a Jubal legend. If there was a Mount Rushmore of Jubal,
be the mountain.
But he would be up there with the likes of the Oracle, Jordan, and Rabin. It is none other than probably the greatest linemen to ever play in Jubal, Bosch. All right, welcome into TBI. It is none other than the man, the myth, the legend. It is B/SH. It's Bosch.
So right now we're all drinking Crapple. If you don't know, this is a drink that was invented by Steve-O and Davo and myself. It's 16% alcohol and nice and bubbly and refreshing.
It is quite possibly one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth.
And that's saying a lot for Logan.
It's definitely the greatest thing I've ever had in my mouth. All right, Bosch, talk us through your career in Jubal. It spans all the way back in the days of Queens and the Five Towns. Talk to us a little about the history, who brought you down, how you got involved, how you stayed for a long time. Yeah, tell us more about it.
So I got actually got brought down by the Hen crew, by Sigmund and Sokol and the guys from the Ariely Shul in Queens. One day I heard a bunch of the guys who I went to high school with talking about, oh, we're playing football. I'm like, I'm in. So I got brought down. It was far, far, far from what it is now. You know, we'd be lucky if we got 6 guys or 8 guys on the field total. We played under right by the World's Fair under Terrace on the Park. And we played at that point touch. And we've had our days, you know.
Was there a line still, or was it
1 line and like 2 receivers?
Gotcha.
Oh wow.
1 line mean like 1 offensive lineman, 1 defensive lineman? Gotcha.
1 hand touch or 2 hand touch?
2 hand. I mean, 1 hand is a little.
Said differently is I still don't play flag.
Fine.
Maybe it's still tackle.
Yeah. But so 1 line, 1-on-1 line.
Our big games, I mean, we might have gotten 6-on-6, but those are few and far between. We've had the ambulance roll onto the grass to pick up people from injuries.
I don't know nothing about that.
I mean,
Then we moved to Woodmere, and then we had a few more injuries with ambulances on the grass. But it's all fun. I mean,
did you ever play with the Oracle?
yes, I believe so.
Wow. That's a big one.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Pretty big deal.
My son right now is 20, so I've been playing, or I was playing 21 years ago.
Wow.
2002. Do math.
For those who weren't born yet, I'm looking at you.
Said
Zip.
Mike.
I was about to say, there's just so many
Mike
names.
also.
There's definitely a Daxi who's also got a younger than 21,
for
right?
sure.
I think Ellie. Yeah.
There's a lot of Daxies that haven't even joined yet. That
Right.
Red Ink getting prime for Jubal.
So Bosch, when did you first start getting mechanical attachments? Like, what year did that happen in? And who was the mad scientist behind that?
I think that was
Please tell me it wasn't Ribbon.
no.
Maybe some attachment.
he can eat spicy, no problem. Now
It was probably 10 years ago on my first injury, tore my rotator cuffs, and that was shoulder on shoulder with Munch. But that one really didn't stop me because I went
Of course not.
I went that night to play Croton. Worst mistake in my life.
Well, playing for
You
Cody
think, right?
in general.
There, beat me to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw you, Evan.
second this motion.
So I went to play Croton.
Not that bad.
Heard it even worse.
No,
Oh.
it wasn't even my shoulder. I was dominating line, charged right through their line, cut, went for the quarterback. My cleat got caught in the grass. You heard snap, crackle, pop.
Oh boy.
It's like Rice Krispies on my knee.
Like Aaron Rodgers all over again.
I tore the ACL, the MCL, the PCL, and the meniscus.
I didn't know there were that.
Daniel
many
Jones, seriously.
Wow.
I then played 4 more sets blocking line on 1 foot.
Not shocked. Known you a long time, not shocked to hear that.
After that, I'm like, screw it, I'm done.
And then he got he got a 2-for-1 parts deal.
I mean, they do say like offensive linemen are just built differently, right? Like that's just who they, they are, what they do. Like,
Listen, open. If you're listening to this interview, which I'm sure you are, right? Keep in mind, you can still play line on 1 foot.
Remember, if
Is your whole team injured?
you
Yeah,
unwrap,
basically.
if your lineman unwraps the candy before he eats it, he's an offensive lineman. If he doesn't even bother unwrapping it, he's a defensive lineman.
Bosh, it's a great difference. Bosh, what chizuk can you give to Jay, who's now experienced his second significant injury, and some of the other guys who are dealing with some bumps and bruises along the way? What chizuk can you give them?
You know what? Do your recovery, do your PT, do it as much as you can, and just push through it. I mean, don't be like Klink, who sat out for like a year and a half because he ripped a meniscus, and oh no, it hurts. Nope, come back, come back stronger, and just work through the pain. I mean, as long as your joints move and work, there's no reason you shouldn't be playing.
I love the shots that are just being taken to like literally no holds bar. Yeah, like exactly. It must be the 12% apple juice that we're
16%.
I'll drink to that.
All right, Bosh, I got a question for you. Obviously, I remember coming down as a young whippersnapper back in my day. And
hey, look, it's Steve-O's brother.
I used to have a different life before I became Devo. We obviously remember the story that I was caught a ball. It was either an interception or a touchdown. And I'm running, and I'm the only one running.
I know.
I'm the only one running, and all of a sudden I hear, and I just ran for my life because Bosh was like 3 feet behind me. I thought I was going to die. But obviously today's game is played at a different speed. How would you think the people of yesterday would translate to today's game, where it's a faster pace? It's I don't want to say it's a higher skill level, but the intensity, I think, is a little higher in the skill.
I think the skill level is a little higher. I think the intensity is higher. I think the guys are younger, and a lot of them are more in shape and guys who play football more than a bunch of husbands who are looking to get out of the house, get away from their wives and kids, and go and hang out and play some football. So first and foremost, a lot of these guys are football players, and then they're everything else. We were just a bunch of guys playing football.
That's fair. Yeah. No, that's fair.
I think you started with Uri, who you'd look at him, didn't look like he was in shape at all, looked like wasn't even paying attention half the time, and he would pick every ball.
Uri was mighty before mighty. Yeah, it was crazy. Uri was unbelievable.
And Uri he wouldn't even run. He'd just like wander around the field and just wind up where the ball is. He had an unbelievable way of reading the quarterback. And you started there and things just grew. I mean, once you brought in Munch and Mayer, you brought in Snow and Snow Pup and all Snow's kids. I mean, you brought up the level because you had guys who were playing on a higher level, playing more aggressive, more than, all right, okay, we're having fun. We're out here. We're getting some exercise. They were playing like they had contracts already on it. So they raised up the level. And then you had, when Moshe brought down Zezzy, and both O brothers also, I mean, you had Asher Ross, who was quick as anything, the Jakubowicz boys, also really fast. Both of them were really strong also. You started raising up the level of athleticism past us middle-aged guys, and we started seeing some amazing things.
But one thing I do kind of miss is that now after the game, everyone sits around and they talk about the game. They talk about everything. Back in the day, everyone just, after the game, everyone would just smoke. And they would just hang out.
We'd pull out a six-pack.
We smoked before the game.
Nobody talks football again. Now it was total life and just smoking.
He smoked on the field.
Correct.
I've seen it in softball. I've never seen it in football.
There'd be sets where it's like
he did it on softball. He played first base.
There are sets where he'd say, "I'm not rushing. I have to figure this. I have to finish this one."
I would imagine back in the day, you probably had less arguments and less calls as well. Or am I off on that? Or did you just want to?
I think there was a lot less calls just because there was less competitive, and it's like unless you really like grabbed my arm and pulled, no one's gonna call holding.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh no, you stepped on my foot while I was looking at the ball, but you weren't looking at the ball, so therefore it's pass interference.
Right. It's hard to call pass interference when we knew we weren't going to catch it anyway.
So you're saying they're soft today? They're soft.
Yeah, I mean, well, welcome to the modern world. I mean, the millennials.
Hey.
I mean, let's be honest. Mighty also pulls a whole shackle of Atari on every play.
When it doesn't go his way, at least.
Of course.
Bosh, talk us through the hat here. Marble and green. Talk us through what you do, outside of the Jubal world. You always barbecue our draft nights and our special events, but talk to us about who you are and what you represent to culinary in the Jewish world.
All right. So thank you. I'll go with that one. Right now, as you guys know, a bunch of you were at the restaurant on the opening nights.
Give a shout out, restaurant name, location.
In Crown Heights, I'm one of the partners at Carbon Barbecue and Grill. We have a full liquor license and a huge backyard. We're looking forward to hosting Jew Bowl again.
And by the way, don't sell yourself short. Besides the liquor license, you have a ridiculous menu of excellent food. So
yes.
It's not, obviously liquor's nice, but the highlight is going to be your
we have menu there. We're
by far the best guacamole I ever had in my life.
Well, thank you.
That's what we're highlighting. You got a whole place menu. We're talking about guacamole. You're not kidding me?
Look who you're talking to. I mean, come on. We're South American comfort food. We're open till 1:00 every night. And
we'll post those Tuesday night football games.
Hey,
straight over.
Come over, chill. The other thing I'm right now doing when I'm not shafting my own animals is I'm working right now with a company called Marble and Grain. Marble Grain is a high-end direct-to-consumer meat company. And so they sent us a bunch of meat to work with tonight. So we're going to make a turgusin, which is a turkey stuffed with a goose, stuffed with a chicken.
Wow.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be ready to eat tonight for these guys.
I'm leaving.
Maybe they might have to come back.
It's out of our budget. There's no TV magic on this.
Davo, where are the sponsors when we need them?
We'd need two. It'd cost way too much. But what we also made for them tonight.
Sponsored, literally.
I am wearing bling.
Right.
The other thing I made for you guys, which is a recipe that I made for you, everyone at home who wants to make an appetizer for Thanksgiving, is with apple craisin turkey sausage stuffed in a poblano pepper, wrapped in pastrami, and then baked or smoked, whichever you have available.
Are those ready to? Should we bring those onto camera?
Yeah, those are ready for you guys.
Over because we're not worthy.
Like, are not worthy.
Let's get it better. Yeah, there it is. Like that is the money shot. Let's get this out of the way. Don't be shy there.
Yeah.
Let's get that
in your face.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time we saw a guest meat on camera, but this is high quality stuff here, guys. Do you want to walk us through? Maybe not necessarily the recipe, but like the process as to how that
Very easy, chopped turkey.
Very easy, right away. Very easy. This looks like something you'd get. It's literally at his restaurant. Very easy.
It's like a 37-word title, and it's like, oh yeah, easy to order.
Chopped turkey.
Chopped turkey.
Mixed with
I can do that.
Chopped raisins, chopped apples.
All right.
A bunch of spices, garlic, cinnamon, allspice, clove. You're getting all your Thanksgiving flavors. And then wrapped in pastrami, stuffed in a pepper, and then cooked till it's.
How long are you putting that in the oven for? Like,
this was in there for about 45 minutes at 250.
45 minutes, 250. So there you go, Jew Ball, right there. You've got a dish that if you bring to Thanksgiving, you can give credit to where you saw it. Number two is this thing is going to kill wherever you go. Like this. Just one more.
I'll eat later. Give a cut. Give a cut.
Okay, so let's.
So the first thing is that it's not overcooked. Okay, if you were wondering, not everything needs to be overcooked.
Oh, look at this. This just falls apart. This is so good. Oh, it's beautiful. I want a little bit meat.
Look at that
pepper.
Oh,
A little bit.
Give the money shot.
This bite right here. This is. Let's see.
That bite right here. Plop.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. One bite. Everyone knows the rules.
Oh wow!
For a pizza, Moshe gives it a 16 out of 8.
No.
No, we have that intervention.
All of those spices come through in that turkey. It's unbelievable. You get a little bit of kick from the pepper, and I can say, the first time I've ever had a guest's meat in my mouth on camera, and I am not disappointed at all. But frankly, I will go back for seconds, thirds, and fourths. This is phenomenal. There's a little bit of heat at the end too. I don't know if that's the pepper or something else.
There's a little cayenne in there.
Residual heat there that I really, really like. This is a fabulous. Do it. Make it at home, guys. This is awesome.
It won't
be this good, but do it at home.
We'll post the recipe on the Jew Ball chat.
Yeah, no, this is wow.
Or in the comments on TBI.
Yeah, you guys keep talking. I'm going to finish this.
You get the
You guys cover me.
you get the heat from the cayenne, and the poblano is not super spicy pepper. You get the apples and the craisins that give you this nice sweetness that's underlying. It's not overpowering. It's just delicious. You get the savoriness from those spices of the cloves, the cinnamon, the garlic. Fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a dish like this before in my life, and I'll be honest with you, I'm going for more. It's just it's everything you want. In turkey, it's everything you want. In a pepper, it's everything you want. In pastrami, it's just it all fits well together and so inventive. Like I would never have thought of something like this before.
And it complements Thanksgiving perfectly. Like in terms of the spices, you get
It's everything you think of
right.
Thanksgiving. I mean,
Literally, you get a little bit of sweetness, right? Obviously, Thanksgiving, think about
maybe
sweetness.
put a little mashed potatoes underneath and you're done.
Please,
that-
you'd be rolling me out.
you're talking.
And then you just gotta wash it down with some crapple.
Hey,
Yeah, look, amen.
My empty cup.
Gosh, talk us through the beef jerky sitting here.
all right. Beef jerky. It's a recipe that took me, I'd want to say 5 years to make, to just get the spices where I wanted it, the heat, the sweet, not too sweet, not too heat. Basically it's top of the rib, cut down to thin strips. Nice thin.
And you go against the grain or you go with the grain?
With the grain, that way you get better chew. I mean, against the grain for a steak, with the grain for chew. So you want a better chew, cut it with the grain, you get that nice chew on it, which lasts you a good like 5 minutes on a piece.
Yeah.
Then the spice blend into the smoker for 6 hours.
I have to tell you that jerky is some of the best jerky, probably the best jerky I've ever had. And the heat hits you not in the beginning, after you swap, like it's there, it like lingers and it's unbelievable. It's not overpowering where you're like, oh my God, I needed something to drink, but it's noticeable and it's, like I said, phenomenal.
That's
One
the ground habaneros.
One
That's
bite,
what?
everyone knows the rules.
Ground habaneros.
Round habanero, that's what it is. It's so good.
Definitely
It's-
not gonna be one bite for that.
No, it's one bite, but a 45-minute chill.
Well, now that Peaches is out of the upper.
Yeah, here's the beauty.
Slow motion chewing.
Here's the beauty, though.
You can put it to the side of
The
your
flavors come out right away. Like you taste it right away, but it's the most enjoyable flavor in your mouth. I honestly, I think this might be the best jerky I ever had in my life.
Yeah, it's fabulous because, like you said, you do get spice in there, but also the meat comes through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't lose the meat. And I
right.
think
That was one of the things I was really working on. You know, you have all these jerkies on the market, and it's this soda or that soda, and all you're tasting is sweet.
right.
So how often do you get fresh jerky?
The smoke is not overpowering. The smoke is like one of the flavors in the jerky.
Well, that's what smoke should always be. I mean,
Correct. I'm saying sometimes you get things that are too smoky, and sometimes you get things that are not smoky enough. The smoke is just intertwined with the flavors, and it's perfection.
This was a maple that I cut down from when I first bought this house. First thing I did was cut down this huge maple.
So you shechted the wood also for the.
So, are we ready
Yeah.
to
Why don't we get into some of the not mess, but some of the artwork you have going on over there, right?
All right, we're going to shift us over now to Bosch's station. We got Bosch's demonstration right here.
All right, so right now we have a nice 14-pound turkey available at Coach.com. This is
KOSH, like Bosch, but with a K
and a
and an O.
And a no.
and a .com.
That's true.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this to preserve most of the skin because we're going to use the skin to wrap this. Then I'm going to take the goose and the chicken and put it inside. We're going to wrap it all together, season it, and then what we'll do eventually is smoke it. But right now we're going to start with, so Jordan, when they're doing surgery on you, they're going to cut right here on the tendon and cut the arm right off. And then we're going to take it for Jubal barbecue. It'll be very delicious. So this is Jordan's arm here.
George's numbers are a little bit bigger. He's been working out over the summer.
But mostly he's been running.
Now, Bosch, what is the purpose of cutting off the legs in?
So the legs have a lot of connective tissue and they're just really hard to work with. It just makes it easier. So this way I'm going to take out the entire breastbone, entire rib cage, backbone, and the leg bones, but I'm going to leave these legs because these were just going to cure and smoke.
Yes.
They'll be like the turkey legs at
Gotcha.
what's it called? Disneyland or the Ren Fair.
You know the Renaissance Fair, right?
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. This knife you're using, this is a typical knife you could buy in the store, or this is a
This was a custom knife I ordered on one of these websites, one of these Chinese websites.
Okay.
I then modified it. I didn't like the handle. I didn't like the blade, so I ground down the blade, filed down the handle, shaved it down.
So you added a mechanical aspect to it, similar to someone I know. I just can't place a finger on it.
All right, Bosh. I got some food questions for you.
All right, shoot.
So now your typical person at home obviously is not going to take a duck, and it's not going to take a chicken and stick it into a goose and then stick that goose into a turkey.
Why not?
We call that Tuesdays.
Yeah, right. It's very easy. You find
Or
the
Monday nights.
On Monday.
you find the joint.
Right, but let's just talk about your average Joe, your average Jew baller. How should they prepare their turkeys for Thanksgiving? Should they disjoint it? Should they take the breast off? Or are they cooking it whole? Because obviously the breast and the darker meat and the whiter meat are cooking at different times, different temperatures.
You can definitely cook them at the same time, as long as you keep them. As long as you keep everything cooking slowly instead of high heat. High heat will cause everything to shrink and contract, which will dry out your breast quicker.
Nobody likes dry breast.
No. I like to cook my turkeys at 250. They take 6 to 8 hours, but they come out really, really juicy. The other thing is, don't go by time. Get a probe and probe the meat.
Rabin is nodding as right now. He's like, yes. Get a probe. Get a probe.
And you don't necessarily need the smoker to cook it to 250. You can do it in the oven as well. Correct?
Exactly.
I love it.
I mean, if you want to do it in your sous vide, like Davo's become obsessed with his sous vide now, you can actually take it off the bones and then cook it sous vide. You can't cook it sous vide on the bones because this cavity here is that airspace creates a insulated pocket and doesn't get hot enough inside.
Interesting.
So it's not safe.
So walk us through.
What if you stuff the cavity? Sorry.
Stuffing the cavity is usually not a good idea.
Just walk us through what are you doing to the bird right now?
Okay, so I just cut down the back so I can peel. So I can cut down the back so I can peel off.
Yeah.
So I can peel off the skin and the fat. I also just dislocated its thighs, so it looks like a Jew baller after a hard game and can't walk. And those thighs go back up like that. Yeah.
Haven't felt like that either.
Yeah, never stretched like that.
So I'm cutting down the back, trying to make sure I go against the bone, so I keep as much meat as I can.
And then once you got everything going, how long will this bird cook for?
Figure this will be lose around 50% of the weight in bones. So this will drop down to 7 pounds. The goose will be around 3 pounds. The chicken will be around 1.5 pounds. I'd say take 6 to 8 hours. At 250, 225.
So just low and slow. Just
Low
let
and
it
slow.
do its thing. Don't bother it.
Just let it go, and you want to sit there. You want to probe in it and relax, have a beer, play the turkey bowl. Hopefully you won't get injured. Hopefully someone won't push your cure into your face so you get a whole fat lip when your wife walks in the house and goes, "What the hell happened to you?"
Talking about hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
Now, Bosh, these gloves you're wearing, these are special gloves or typical?
These are my receiver gloves. I mean, they're textured for her pleasure, so it doesn't slip, and I can catch, I can fix a bird, everything at the same time.
Love it.
Well, while you're you got a little bit of work to do here, so while you're doing that, PJ, what's some of your favorite Thanksgiving sides? What's your jam right now? Your sweet, your savory. What's your Thanksgiving jam?
A huge mashed potatoes guy, but I also love some sweet potato. I like the savory with the mashed potatoes with maybe a little bit of garlic and oil, and with some salt, obviously. but then you got like
All these flavors is supposed to be salty.
and
Very salty.
then you got sweet potatoes. My wife likes to add some marshmallows. I'm not a big marshmallow person, but some marshmallows to the sweet potatoes to add the extra flavor. Kids like it. It's honey glazed carrots, which I think are also pretty good side dish as well.
I hear you.
Logan, Davo?
So Moshe, how'd you lose all the weight with all this sugary stuff that you love?
Me personally, everyone likes potatoes, right? We're white, we're Jewish, we love potatoes. I thought that's like a base for us. I'm a little traditional. I like some cranberry sauce, green beans. You can make a green bean casserole. My wife made it fantastic. But to me, I'm all about the meat, the turkey, the gravy. That's like the only time in my life that like everything on the plate just gets covered in everything. You get the gravy on top of everything, and it's just fantastic.
Now, Logan, is this considered being on the fence? Because he asked about sides.
Yeah, I was like, what's your favorite side? He's like, my favorite side is the main.
Listen, I like the turkey with a side of meat.
That is
Am
essentially.
I wrong about
I was about to say, boy, I made a side dish that was a turkey sausage.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
fair.
That's a fair
Listen,
Fair point.
that is
That's
the
fair,
turkey's
right.
the main,
When in Bosch,
and the beef is
be like Bosch.
and then like the other things are extra. And also you got to finish up with a warm apple pie.
Interesting. So like I don't like hot sweet things.
Wow, not something I would expect to hear from this guy.
Yeah, savory. Like I'm not a huge apple pie guy. I'm not a huge sweet potato guy.
Is apple pie a side or is it a dessert by you?
I think it's a dessert.
I would agree.
I'm saying dessert also. You gotta finish off.
People like apple cobbler, right? Apple cobbler can kind of.
It's just an excuse to eat pie during the meal.
What's wrong with that?
No, there's not. It's just not my jam. That's all. But yeah, so like some of the mashed potatoes. We didn't talk about stuffing. I think stuffing can go really well with gravy.
By the way, that is a side.
Yeah, no, I agree. Stuffing is a side. Yeah, exactly.
Overrated.
I disagree. It just means you get eat better stuffing. I like the savory stuff better. Green beans great. Obviously, turkey, but that's going to be the main. But
all right, let's go back to Bosch here. Bosch,
who has
talk us through what we're
officially
looking at
taken
right
the spine? I feel like we're in a Mortal Kombat type situation here. He's taken the spine out of this bird.
That's a turkey puppet.
Hey, oh man, you ever get attacked by a back of a bird? There you go.
That's more than the back of a bird. That's the entire thing. So right now,
By the way, guys, you guys within the past 2 minutes, he's literally taken the bones off this bird. That's
incredible.
Unbelievable. Yeah, like that is.
So
there are
two
A+.
It's also this is a turkey. This is not a chicken. This is like your typical. What you said? This is an 8-pound turkey.
No,
14-pound turkey.
About 8 pounds after the bone.
He's literally deboned the turkey before he's cooked it. Like after it's cooked, if it's soft, what?
Boned it.
He boned it.
He boned the turkey.
He boned the turkey, and now we're gonna eat it.
And now we're banned from YouTube.
Only in certain countries. And Arkansas.
Listen,
right.
if it was a goat, rub in would subscribe.
It's okay.
That's a blue. That doesn't even make the blue.
That's a giblet scoop.
That's just being cut for the show.
Okay, so we've taken out the breastbone, the breastplate.
Acting like we've done the work.
Listen, Bosch is taking out the breastplate.
Yeah, keep going.
Go.
I'm saying there's no breastbone. He said that we took out the breastbone.
Okay, I
You
changed.
just wanted to say breast.
I changed it. Is it not the breastplate?
It's the breastbone right there.
Taking out the breastplate, the breastbone, whatever you want to call it. He's taken out one of the leg bones. He's now taking out the other. When you're finished with this, do we season the turkey?
We season each layer because you don't want one layer to be bland and have to rely on the other layer. And you don't want to over season one layer and hope that it seasons the other layers properly.
Bosch, talk us through seasoning because I think that's something that people don't sometimes forget, especially when they're doing Thanksgiving with turkey. What type of seasonings would you put in?
For good meat, the only thing I use is salt.
Oh,
Maybe a little black pepper, but
so you're not onion
Who is
powder?
that?
No onion powder, no garlic powder.
nope.
That goes for poultry as well, or when you said meat, were you specifically talking about
Meat.
like
Normally
cow.
beef, I won't do anything other than salt.
Right. Steaks, I agree with that.
Right.
I totally agree with that.
For a bird, sometimes the bird can be a little bland. So what I prepared today for the outside of the turkey, a boneless turkey.
Yeah, you're looking at something that's I've personally never seen in my life.
I was about to say,
Same.
what was it, 15 minutes ago it had all its bones?
Yeah, I mean,
It's all it takes.
All right, so this rub here is celery salt, garlic, black pepper, and cayenne.
gosh, you mind just holding it up for everybody so they can see if you don't mind?
It literally looks like how you'd imagine what poultry looks like without any bones.
And this is just on the skin side.
I mean, you can wear it as a kid too.
Yeah, look, you could
yeah.
could dive face first right into that.
Now you just spice the skin side. And you also do the poultry side as well.
I just did the skin side. I'm going to do just a little salt on the poultry side.
Okay.
Because inside I'm going with, right inside of here, I'm going with the goose.
Got it.
So I want the goose flavor to come through. I don't want it to be.
Now, how is goose different than your average turkey or chicken? Which is, what are the differences? I personally have never had goose in my life. Just throwing that out there. So talk to me, what's the flavor difference?
So goose is a fattier waterfowl.
Okay.
They do a lot more. They do a lot more work, so the muscles are a little bit more developed. Also, the actual meat itself. So this is the goose I did beforehand, so you didn't have to wait and watch.
Wow.
If you notice that the goose is more wild. So look at the size of the breasts on here versus the turkey.
Yeah,
I mean, the animals, goose aren't bred for their breast meat like chickens and turkeys are. Turkeys and chickens have been domesticated for years.
Right.
Spira, this one's for you. So the goose and the gander are having sex. Who's having sex with the swan?
All right, so we're gonna hit up.
And this is what your typical salt you would get.
This is diamond crystal salt.
Okay.
Now,
Regular
It's like
supermarket.
it's the tub that like has that metal thing that you pull out.
it's not red anymore. It's now pink. Listen, gentlemen, we have a lot of good chefs in Jubal. Kuti and
We're gonna start leaving people out now. This is not fair.
And Open and Oren and there's a whole under the hood gang that goes here. PJs. But
I don't think my game is anywhere on those people's levels.
But
Like yourself, Dave. Dave, you are.
Davo too.
Dave, you are. I'm not on your level, man. You are.
but when
Incredible.
when it comes down to it, Bach
Dope up.
Snow Pup.
Yeah. Baby Grill is dead.
Baby Grill's dead.
But when it comes down to it, Bosch is the OG on the cooking. He provides us with all of our cooking for the Jubal draft party, etc.
Chicken going down.
And we like to thank Bosch for everything that he's done for Jubal. He cooked a lot for us. So we just like to thank you there as well.
Always. I mean, it's great that I can still be involved, even though my knees won't let me play.
Oh, your current knees. Who knows with the next attachment or the
listen,
next upgrade.
Elon Musk might develop knees that are sun powered.
And autonomous knees. You can just stand there and they'll do the rest for you. By the way, after all of that, like what I would call like bedlam, just like crap all over the place. This is real pretty. You know what I mean? Like as a final product, this even before it's cooked, really pretty.
We're not just saying this as friends of Bosch, but
we're not even friends of Bosch.
Yeah.
I don't even know these guys.
We literally just walked into his house and he said, "Sure, come on in." Now, Bosch, talk to us. What are you doing right now to the bird?
So I'm trussing it with string so that it maintains its shape. It doesn't open up. And also we get a constant size so it cooks more evenly.
And so you said typically 68 hours in the smoker.
Yep, you're looking for 155 degrees.
Okay.
That'll get you nice.
You want that
juicy meat.
straight through though, right? Like
You're putting your probe in the thickest part.
right?
And at what point are you probing?
I would put a probe in, leave it in.
Okay.
If you have one. If you have instant reads that you can't leave in, then you look at 5 hours, you look at your temperature, and then you go based on that. And you go every 15 minutes to half an hour. All right.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't know about everybody else. This might be the first time I've ever seen anything like this in person up front. This is something you would get on a cooking channel. This is something you would get from some of the professionals. The fact that we're getting this live here is pretty incredible, honestly.
Well, I'm glad I could help out Jubal once again.
I'm only sad that we don't have a big enough budget to have TV magic where we can just like pull one out that's already ready. So because like I'm a little bit like watering in the mouth, just like seeing this right now.
Oh, wait, what's this? What's this? The wizard brings us a freshly cooked turkey.
No, here it is, Dave. Just look. You're dedicated to TBI. Just take a bite. Just take one for the team. Tell us how it tastes.
We can get everything here from Coach.com.
That's the chicken. That's the goose.
Yep.
All right, Dave, what do you think here? Could you do something like this?
You just put jerky in his mouth. Are you going to call him now?
Oh, yeah, typical Davo, on the fence.
I mean, the thing is, I can do this. If it was a piece of meat, what I would do is I'd probably wrap it lateral instead of longitudinal because temperatures.
Oh, that is classic.
All right. And
Wow.
And Saddam,
you want to lift it up for everybody? Just sit. Wow.
look at this.
This is incredible.
And I would leave this in the fridge for a day or so, let everything bind together, and then smoke it.
So no literally maybe a bag, but just straight into the fridge?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now look, as TBI always says, wrap it up. That's our motto. That's what we do. So
all right, thank you guys for having me on. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Bosh,
Enjoy.
we appreciate everything as always, and we can't thank you enough for doing with us, guys. I hope you really took something out of this. I hope it increases your Thanksgiving feast. Even if it's not a turgoosen, if it's even just a turkey, a goose, or a duck, or a chicken.
Remember, Carbon Barbecue and Grill in Crown Heights. Go check it out. Marble and Grain. Go check it out. In addition to that, Davo, what should they do this week?
We have week 5 signups. Don't forget, we have Tuesday night football, depending on when this episode actually airs. We would all, from the bottom of our hearts, like to thank Bosh for hosting.
Thank you guys for
as
being
well.
here.
Just remember, you can get all your Thanksgiving meat needs at Kosh.com. That's KOSH.com. And don't forget, we're 3 balls in.
We're now 3 balls out with Bosh.
But I think stuffing is real great.
Listen, if you want to insert joke there.
What?
Challenge you two ballers to insert the joke and send it to us, and we will read the best options on next episode. Insert the joke.
Insert the joke.
I'm still trying to figure out the joke.
So yeah,
Eating pies. Like
no, that's not true at all. But
Eat your pie.
you can definitely eat. Yeah, no, that's for sure. that's there. People loves drinking out of empty cups. This is not the first time on a TBI episode. By the way, for those of you watching at home, if you can quote which episode Davo drank from an empty cup at, you'll be on the show.
Not only on the show,
man.
Not only on the show. No. You're hosting the show.
You will. You are the show.
Yeah.
I will let you drink out of.
And he's had me in his mouth.
Whoa.
And I'm just over here at the end for a reason.
That's a blooper. That's a blooper. Let's go back.
So I digress.
Right. We're back. Bosh, welcome.
Dash.
That's a dash. Here's
What I
man.
say, slash?
You said
Yeah.
slash. I don't know what that is.
He's a good drummer.
Yeah. You got more room if you need to see more. All right.
Scoot your up.
Yeah.
And Dave.
It was also literally just ate a piece. All right, you ready?
Welcome to Jubal. To Jubal. Welcome to Jubal.
Well, welcome.
Well, we got to
Not going
By the
too
way,
long.
Davo, I know, right? You definitely lost your train of thought, right? You're like,
When? Wait,
like
I never
when
wanted
you were
to dra-
ending the prey in the Dak segment, like you were talking about, like we moved over to grass, and then you were like, anyway, we got close. Yeah.
I think I was still confused.
Yeah.
Like the road. I never wanted to grab by your road.
Like,
Oh my God, you are okay.
I never go
Yeah,
look. Go look back.
Bring it in. Dave, just lean over a little bit. So this
Bro, Bosh is very wide.
No, but still,
Take him a lot of room.
no, he's good. He's good. Here we go.
Wait to insult the guest.
Hey,
That-
when I
that-
take up two of you, I mean, I am kind of wide.
It's actually a compliment to him.
That's why I'm the best lineman.
That is true.
Talk about soft generation.
He's Veal. That name should have stuck with you.
I know. It never even hit Juval.
Oh, it did.
Now it did. Now it did.
Just
Oh,
call him
God.
Beal.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
First, his nickname used to be Veal. And before that, his nickname was Matthew.
I think we need the Veal story. What? Not today, but at some point, the Veal story needs to come out.
Dr. Ellie Shapiro, who's a psychologist who lives in Far Rockaway, was an NCSY advisor.
And he called him Veal.
Who I made some type of like comment and joke or whatever, and response back to me, he goes, "You look like veal." I go, "Are you like? Do you want to eat me?"
What's he saying? You
And
look
Bosh
like
heard
this?
it. Bosh heard that. He's
If,
like,
if he was an NCSY advisor, maybe. Oh, sorry. Oh.
Then we 3 balls out. We all up on your screens like it's prime time sprout. Mighty gets a scoring. Oh, and PJ start to scout. Your rhymes really trash. What do you think he's damn fouls? TB out the show.